Hi, this is Kinara Jaffe, the Director of the Partnerships Office at the University of Chicago Graham School, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this information session about appraising personal property, the courses that we will be teaching with the American Society of Appraisers. I just want to go over a few instructions for you as participants. Please mute your computer microphone. Make sure that your speakers are activated using the green speaker button. There's a ribbon at the top. You see the words meeting, layouts, pods, audio. There's a green microphone there. Please activate that. Participants should ask questions using the dialog box at the bottom right side of the screen. You can ask questions as we're going through the presentation, and then there will also be a question and answer session at the end. As I indicated, I'm here at the Partnerships Office at the Graham School. I want to briefly give an introduction to the Graham School, then I will introduce my colleague from the ASA who will be doing the bulk of the presentation. She will give an overview of courses in the Principles Evaluation series and talk about accreditation guidelines. At the end of the presentation, not only will there be an opportunity for question and answers, but there will be a slide that will indicate how to register for the courses, so please stick with us to the end so that you can register online. We are also recording this meeting, so if you have questions that you haven't had answered or want to go back and review the slides, you'll be able to get to the recording of the meeting on the Graham School website. It may take us up to a week to get that recording up there, but it will be posted on the website. As many of you probably know, the University of Chicago is a world-class institution here in the city of Chicago. We have over 15,000 students, and as you can see, a large number of alumni worldwide. A very distinguished faculty, including 87 Nobel laureates. The University of Chicago manages 2 labs for the Department of Energy, both Argonne National Lab and Fermi. We have many research centers on campus and a great deal of sponsored research that goes on here every year. If you want additional information about the University of Chicago, here is a URL that you can click on to learn about the University of Chicago. The Graham School of Continuing Liberal and Professional Studies extends to a broad community the university's intellectual resources and unique and rigorous approach to learning and scholarship. That's a long way of saying we are the continuing education school at the University of Chicago. We've been a part of the University of Chicago since it was founded over a century ago. So adult education, continuing education has been part of the university's mission from its outset. But we are only one of 7 schools on the University of Chicago campus. We, at the Graham School, have over 6,000 students and offer 4 different master's degree programs. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce my colleague on this presentation, Sandy Tropper. She is going to talk about the American Society of Appraisers and the courses that we will be offering in partnership with the ASA. Sandy is the Chair of Education for Personal Property for the ASA and will be one of the instructors for the courses we're offering this year. Sandy, do you want to take it from here?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much, Kinara. I appreciate it. I am very happy to be able to offer courses from the American Society of Appraisers using the Graham School, University of Chicago as a partner. The school itself has such a great reputation, and I'm just looking forward to being able to find wonderful students and participants in the course. Everybody that's on this, I know, actually wants to be an appraiser. That's why you're listening. And what I hope you will all find is that you come away from this presentation being able to understand what an appraiser is, what the requirements are to become a professional accredited appraiser, and what the courses are all about. So let's start off with, what is an appraiser? So you all want to be appraisers. Well, what is an appraiser? What does an appraiser do? Well, an appraiser actually does three things. An appraiser is an identifier, a valuer, and a witness. Let's talk about that a little bit. As an identifier, an appraiser identifies property. Doesn't mean that you authenticate all the property, although you may be capable of doing some of that. It does mean that you know where to go for authentication, who the experts are, how do you find those experts, and why do you need to do that? Because you need to know if that property is real or fake, or you need to know if that property is a reproduction or the real deal. How do you appraise it otherwise? If it's a poster of a painting, it may be worth $15, and if it's the painting, it may be worth $15 million. An appraiser is also a valuer, and that's more likely what is a little bit more assumed, I think, when somebody decides they're going to be an appraiser. An appraiser looks at sales of comparable property, comparing those sales with what they've got and what the prices are, and they conclude a value. Many people have had appraisals done on their homes, so that's something that's a little bit more comfortable. People know that they look around, they see what else is selling in the neighborhood. This is a very similar kind of thing. An appraiser is also a witness. Appraiser is an individual who can testify as to the property's existence and their condition, and does so without, as one of my colleagues says, no dog in the race. They're at arm's length. They didn't buy the property, they didn't sell the property, they don't own the property, they have nothing to gain or lose except to act as an impartial witness. An appraiser is someone who acts objectively, impartially, and independently, and can provide an arm's length opinion regarding the identification, existence, and the value of property. Those three words, objectively, impartially, and independently, will come up again and again, both in the courses and also in today's presentation. I think it's really important for an appraiser to have that distance between what they're appraising and their final conclusion. What's happening is you're allowed to look at something and with no other circumstances value it. So it doesn't matter whether you're working for the husband or the wife in the divorce, or whether you're working for the insurance company or the insured in the damage claim. Your value is one that's objective, and that's the goal of an appraiser, to be considered to